The extent of damage to this tractor tire difficult to repair, but for Pakistan, it's a minor problem. Before repairing it, a low-speed grinder is used to clean the wound to facilitate subsequent stitching. The way the master holds the sander, you can tell he's an experienced teacher. Once the tire has been sanded, the brush is used to clean up the dust. Then it's time to use nylon thread. Then it's time to stitch up the wound. After he has closed the wound, a layer of vulcanizing agent is applied to the stitched area. After applying the vulcanizing agent evenly, the master starts to make the patch. This patch is also cut from other discarded tires. They are very strong and durable. In order to make the patch fit the tire better, the patch is cut out. The patch has to be polished with a grinding machine. After sanding, apply raw film to the sanded surface. Press it down with a roller. Next, apply a layer of raw film to the inside of the tire. A layer of raw film is also applied, again with the roller. The patch can then be put back on to prevent the patch from falling off. At this point, the technician, he also needs to use a needle and thread to sew the patch to the rubber. A layer of vulcanizing agent is applied to the stitched area. After the application, a round of raw film is applied, as the wound on the side of the tire is too thin. After one round of raw film, the technician needs to apply another round of patching. Then the patch is sewn to the tire with nylon thread. Then the patch is sewn together with nylon thread. Then he applies vulcanizing agent to both ends of the wound. Then the wound is filled with raw film. Pieces of raw film are applied in front of your eyes. Press it down with scissors over and over again to keep it from sticking to the edges. After applying the raw film to the tire cut, then use a large patch. Apply it to the cut on the inside of the tire. Press it firmly with a roller. Then it's time to give it a high temperature cure, since there is no mold here. So before the high temperature curing, the master has to make a mold. The process of making this mold is also relatively simple. The master first places the tire on a wooden board. Then he uses mud to cover the edge of the tire wound. A frame is formed. The lime powder is then poured into the frame. After the lime powder has set, a tailor-made mold is created. Then we take it indoors. Prepare it for heating. Before heating, a layer of vulcanizing agent is applied. Then the tire is lifted onto the mold by a joint effort. The tire is compacted with sandbags and wood to prevent air bubbles from forming during the curing process. Once the tire has been compacted and secured, heated to around 160 degrees for 2 hours, the top of the tire is now shaped. Then the sides of the tire are shaped in the same way. First apply a vulcanizing agent, and then a layer of raw film. The tire is then ready to be vulcanized. The wound on the side of the tire is quite large. In order to make sure that everything is in order, the master cures the tire at high temperature for 24 hours. After the vulcanization is complete, you can't even see it now. The tire is beyond repair. But as a Pakistani craftsman, excellence is essential. So, the master also needs to use a grinder to get rid of the rough edges, where it doesn't come out. The master then uses a soldering iron to smooth it out. Once the burrs have been smoothed out, the job is done. The repaired tire still looks very strong. It will last for another 10 years.